So after a spirited back and forth with Dennis, we finally settled on this punch list, or a scope of work, as things started getting underway. But as the project manager and Dennis's right hand, Juan Acosta, makes his morning rounds, his stop at Aria is anything but routine.
And we're doing our initial inspection now, and we're seeing the interior is rotted. So a lot of that's gonna have to be cut out, and Steph's gonna have to rebuild this. And what they did is they made non-skid on a piece of fiberglass, came and glued it onto the boat. Not the right way to do it. Now the fiberglass is getting unglued. When we do non-skid repairs, we do it right on the boat. Now I'm gonna have to grind all this off to an area where it's not delaminating, and then start fixing from there. And then we can go ahead and put new non-skid. Boats and problems. Dile a George que quisiera ver si para fin de semana lo dejamos y después hacemos primer duro. Cuando ya le tiramos primer, vamos a poner. Trying to locate the leak on the starboard side of Aria, and we're having complications removing these panels. Some genius 5200 in place. So now to take them down, I'm going to have to destroy them. All the panels have to come down so I can see where the leaks are coming from.
Anytime a boatyard foreman makes a face like that, you know it's going to be expensive. I can't explain it, but some people are just born for adventure. They hear the calling, and they're compelled to get off the couch and see what's around the corner or over that horizon. I'm going on this quest to prove that the heart of history's greatest explorers and adventurers is alive and well today. This is your invitation to
escape from reality.
Your support is putting wind in our sails so that you can share these adventures with you.
Hey Dennis.
Yeah, buddy. What's
Got a
up?
problem on Aria.
Is this going to be long?
Yeah, it might be.
All right, let's go sit over there. Just part of my day.
So we have the technicians on Aria removing the overhead panels.
Yeah.
So that we can find the leaks. It appears that the panels are raw wood that were 5200 onto the boat.
Who the hell 5200's overhead panels onto the ceiling?
Some moron.
Are you kidding me?
No,
So there are 5200 on here?
5200.
All of them or some of them?
The edges of most of them.
Oh my gosh.
And to take them off, we're gonna have to destroy them.
So now we're going to have to make all new overhead panels. And the
Yeah,
first,
yeah.
they should be sealed on the back too.
Yeah, and then it's raw wood.
How many are there?
4 that I know that definitely have to be ripped off.
Yeah.
But then you're gonna have to talk to the owner, see if he just wants to replace them all.
Oh, he's going to flip a strip, man. Oh my gosh. I just don't understand in the marine industry who the hell glues 5200 panels up there so they never
It's a
come
wood
down.
panel.
And 5200 is an adhesive, it's not a caulk. So when you put it up there, it's there for life.
Life. Thing I
Do
can
we
tell
know
you-
who did that?
No, I have no idea. Whoever worked on that boat before us.
You know, now that I'm thinking about that, that boat has been up here 3 different times to the same company for warranty work. That coach roof has been off 3 different times. Those panels had to be off 3 different times because of the fittings from the roof. When they put those non-skid panels over, they were covering up a bunch of voids that were leaking water into there. So the last company that did that 3 different times is the company that probably glued those up with the 5200. Now this shit is gonna wind up costing the owner a lot of money for something that could have easily been prevented. And he is not gonna be happy when we tell him about this. The good news is...
the good news or the bad news?
No, the good news is your boat's gonna look awesome when we're done. The bad news is it's gonna take a little bit more resources and a little bit, maybe a lot more work to get it done that way.
In order
order to do a proper inspection of all the caulking and the penetrations and try to find the leak, we need to take the panels down.
Right.
But we can't get the panels down without snapping them and breaking them because they are
not?
glued up. The screws are already out. That's an adhesive. That's a 5200 adhesive.
It's not just stuck?
No,
Okay, so these have become one with the ceiling.
one with the ceiling. Look, I can't even move that. I can't even, look,
Is
that's
it
like
with
cement.
this one or with all of them?
Well, these are the ones we've taken down. We haven't gotten the rest of them down. We got to about halfway right here. So we're gonna take the rest of them down now and see if it's all the way
glued
through.
also?
That's also glued. You see the screws removed.
All right, we've got a pattern.
This has no sealant whatsoever. They just put washers. You can see how it was done. And we have evidence that's already been leaking because when I took down that panel, as you can see,
Yeah, we've got some water damage.
there's all the water damage. And the back portion of these should be sealed with like an epoxy resin so that they last a long time and they don't rot out with water damage.
Well, it looks like the water stayed here, pooled, and terminated here.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure why it's leaking all the way over there.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing when we pull these panels down with a crowbar or something else, we're going to see wherever that source of
Yeah.
water, which would be up here, I'm thinking it's finding its way to the interior, pooling somewhere on the roof, like condensation,
Right.
and eventually sliding down the sloped roof and manifesting on that wall there.
So when we take the rest of these panels out, we'll be able to identify it and we're gonna do a water test and we should be able to find out where it's coming from.
So if we replace these, aren't we kicking the problem down the calendar?
That's gonna definitely affect the schedule a little bit more. It's gonna take a little bit more time because we should have these down in about a couple hours, all of them.
Can we replace this with whiteboard?
We can replace that with what we call PVC whiteboard.
Okay.
It's a PVC.
Yeah,
You don't have to worry about wood. It's flexible. It's also rigid. And it's great because we could just put a couple more screws in there and keep it up. And anytime you need to take it down, you just undo the screws, comes down, you can access anything you need to.
All right, well, fun.
As with any large project, there's always going to be some kind of creeping scope. Dennis is a sales guy. He just said, screw it, we're gonna go get the best that's ever been built with alien technology from the future and get that on the boat.
Yeah, this is obviously we're gonna get you some numbers for this. It's obviously gonna increase the budget, which we didn't plan on, but obviously when you get into a project like this with refits, some things come up and you wanna address them now versus later.
I don't want to be the one to give you bad news, but remember, we're just starting, so there might be a couple more mouse traps that we find.
You're gonna be here for a couple of months, so let's hope when we go through some other stuff, especially when we rip up this, we don't find any like rotted stuff over there, so.
I gotta figure out how many charters I gotta do to pay for this damn thing.
Settle down, checkbook's gonna close soon.
All right, I'll go work on the numbers for you.
All right, thanks.
All right, you got it, man.
You got it.
Take care.
The work on Aria has only just begun.
But remember, we're just starting.
There's already talk of creeping scope and creeping budget and potentially a missed timeline. As the Foster's team continues their progress, how many more mousetraps could there be?
So there might be a couple more mouse traps.
If you're the owner of this boat, you've got to be a little more than concerned. Could this be the first drop in the bucket of a mounting storm of bad news to come? Although Dennis projects complete confidence, one can only imagine what's really going inside this mad genius's head.
I got plenty of confidence. You need a cup or two?
Will Dennis be able to hold the house of cards together and pull off yet another success story on Aria? Or will this be the bridge too far that breaks them all? Will Juan be able to rise to the continuing stress and demands as a service manager? Or is he simply flat out, point blank, just way in over his head? The pressure just continues to mount on the entire Foster's team each week, and it looks like the worst is yet to come. Keep watching.
Hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.
Escape from reality.